My God, Ludlow! How could you be so stupid?
I still don't know, sir.
Don't tell me I didn't warn you 1,000,000 times! You are lucky that we are short on people with your skills, or I'd have demoted you there and then.
I'm so sorry, sir. There is no way I could describe my regret for what happened that night.
Why did you not lock your cabin when you were out?
An honest mistake, sir. It won't happen again.
It won't indeed, because I'm confiscating that weapon.
But I still have my rights as an officer.
This is my ship and... No, I'm not telling you again. You know very well what I mean.
I know, but it's just...
Your self-proclaimed privilege to walk around armed almost got an innocent man killed, Ludlow. A dear friend of mine. Was I wrong to trust you? Was I? I am an old fool.
I'm sure Ludlow didn't mean for this to happen. It was all an accident, sir. No one is to blame.
That's no excuse for such irresponsible behavior. Officer Brunswick was attacked by a loon. I wouldn't call that an accident. After what happened, the passengers have lost total faith in my authority. To restore that, I have decided to make you steward, Rensburg. I want the both of you to pamper our guests as much as possible. And if I hear as much as one complaint, I'm going to have to use force to correct it.
I'm not sure I understand, sir. Why me?
Without Brunswick and Ian, I can't afford to lose any more experienced sailors. You are not an experienced sailor, but you are a charismatic young man. I need a keeper of the peace who warrants a civilized atmosphere for our honored guests. I already informed our chef, Mr. Andra Aubertin, about your promotion. You will find him in the galley, where he will show you what duties a steward of the Herald has. Please leave now, both of you.
Well, congratulations. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. Got yourself a blue coat in less than a week.
You sound jealous. Are you?
No. It only took years before I got a promotion. Naturally, you get one on your 4th day. Of course I'm jealous and amazed. But it's exactly what we need right now. Absolutely brilliant, Devon.
Excuse me?
Don't you remember what we talked about earlier? There's something strange going on aboard this ship, and you are going to find out what. Because as a steward, you will be the passenger's lackey. So you get to serve their food, rub their backs, and tuck them in at night.
That sounds awfully dull. Is that all there is to it?
Nothing more, nothing less. Well, off to the galley with you. Be sure to stop by the crew's quarters first. You'll find a nice blue coat inside the cabinet there. And while you enjoy that shiny new jacket of yours, don't forget to eavesdrop on our unsuspicious victims.
Caleb had thoroughly scrubbed the blood from the floor, but I couldn't get the harrowing image of Brunswick lying there out of my mind. A blue steward's coat lay inside the cabinet, just like Ludlow told me. I needed to go to the galley. Undra, the chef, was waiting for me there.
He made you the new steward? I should have known. You're best buddies with the captain, after all. Well, don't you have somewhere to be? The galley's through there and to the right. Now get out of here.
I needed to go to the galley. Undra. One day, when I was cleaning the gun deck, a letter fell out of Rob's trunk. It was addressed to a man, and in it, Rob praised his godly appearance. Yes, One day, when I was cleaning the gun deck, a letter fell out of Rob's trunk. It was addressed to a man, and in it, Rob praised his godly appearance. Yes, I was wrong to have read it. Robert Stockson didn't pay as much as the first-class passengers, and there was no room for him among the crew, so he got a hammock on the gun deck. A blessing, since he snored like a bear. A couple of empty whiskey bottles betrayed the nature of Rob's affliction. He was a notorious drunk. A lazy chair for a lazy oaf, Hayward once said about Rob's mahogany rocker. The signing of the Treaty of Westminster is a scene widely depicted in Protectorate art. It is so revered because it represents a defining moment in the Protectorate's creation. It was not uncommon to find a pile of junk next to Hayward's workshop. People generally tried to avoid him, so they often just dumped any tools they had used next to his workshop for the bosun to find on his way out.
Ah, my new help has arrived. I've never seen you down here before, Devon. What have you done to deserve this sorry job?
The captain believes I'm better suited to working with people than with ships, and so do I.
Well, he gave you a blue coat and took from you a sailor's life. You are a servant now. A servant at sea, but a servant nonetheless. What does a servant do, you ask me? He cleans and he cooks, of course. But aboard a ship like the Herald, he also has the duty of recreating a little piece of the Protectorate for our dear passengers. Lest they forget they're still part of it.
I have little to no experience being a steward. I'd be glad if you could show me the ropes.
Unlike the work above deck, our job has less to do with ropes and more with silver spoons and plates. Don't forget your silver tongue either. No, time to get to business. This here is Danielle, my sous chef, and he has prepared luncheon for the passengers this morning.
Hello, Devon. Pleased to meet you.
So for your first task, would you be so kind as to serve Lady Tabitha and Senator Morton their grub in the dining saloon?
I'll do my best, Mr. Aubertin. I'll make sure our guests are well looked after.
I'm sure you will, Devon. And please just call me Undra. Now, remember to return here after you're done so I can give you your next assignment.
The dining tray contained the food for Lady Tabitha and Miss... Traces of cornflour and butter covered the roller. The smell of butterscotch betrayed its recent use. Undra had made his special treats again. The most prominent thing about the galley was its giant stove. 4 burners and 2 ovens. Quite lavish for a merchant ship. Fresh produce was rare aboard the Herald, but carrots stay good for quite some time when kept high and dry. Alas, the galley did not provide such conditions. Little bits of food were still stuck on the inside of the pan. It seemed like Danielle had been in a rush when he washed the dishes. The few herbs I could find in the galley were often dried and stale. Bruising them with the grinder usually helped to return some of their flavor. On the counter lay a giant hunk of prosciutto from the province of Italy. Like the people from that province, it's rather salty, but in a delightful way. Potatoes need peeling to get rid of the dirt. Sadly, it wasn't Danielle's favorite job, so sand was a common ingredient in the stew. I once caught a drunken sailor trying to brew beer from the barley in the galley. "If only I had more time, Emma," he said to me. Rice from the colonies is a staple aboard Protectorate ships. It's easy to transport and high in energy, even though rice alone won't really nourish you. To ponder about the true nature of sausage is to see the horror in man's ways. Cans of beans, peas, and pickles lined the wall. The necessity of canned food meant it was kept on stock in abundance.
How despicable that the captain did not see this coming. It's just unbelievable.
You should stop worrying about everything, Uncle. Every time you frown like that, you get a new wrinkle.
I'm a man, Tabitha. Wrinkles give me character. And besides, I can't waste my time on silly things like that.
Why shouldn't a politician care about his appearance? Your line of work requires you to persuade others. A dashing appearance would surely give you an advantage.
Who said I didn't care about my appearance? Am I not dashing enough for you?
Well, you could try and follow the latest trends from the colonies. Colourful and less stern, more brisk.
I represent the Protectorate, my dear, not some exotic roadshow.
But what if I wanted to dress myself more like a member of an exotic roadshow? Would that be acceptable?
Now don't get any ideas, Tabitha. Your father...
Yes? My father... what?
Your father wouldn't approve, my dear.
Indeed. But father's not here. And why should you have the right to tell me what to do when he's not around?
Because I am your appointed guardian. That's why.
I'm a grown woman. Why would I have need of a chaperone? Times are changing, Uncle.
Enough now, dear. Say your prayers and eat before it gets cold.
Could you pass me the salt, please?
The lady wants salt on her food.
Now, Uncle, a little please wouldn't hurt.
Please, boy, the salt.
How much salt would please the lady?
I can do it myself. Thank you.
Tabitha, let the boy do his job. Good. I'd like some as well. Could you, boy?
As you wish, sir.
Surely you jest! You completely ruined it! By God, Tabitha, what happened to the servants who knew how to blend in with the background? Get away, you! The captain will hear of this.
Daniel, is that you? Can you hand me the saucepan?
There was a saucepan on the worktop.
Devon! I didn't expect you back already. Say, were our honorable guests pleased with their meals?
I'm afraid Mr. Morton wasn't satisfied with my services.
What's the matter? Didn't kiss his boots? Well, don't fret. It is not the first time we failed to please the upper gentry. No time to dawdle, though. These meals here need to go to Officer Brunswick and Dr. Garrick. You can find them both in Brunswick's cabin. Oh, and keep an eye out for Daniel, will you? I don't know where he is, but he has a knack for dozing off on the job. Send him back here if you see him.
The tray contained the food for Officer Brunswick and Dr. Garrick. I needed to serve the food first.
I'm so... Why? Don't break.
Is he going to make it, Doctor?
I'm not sure. He's tough, but it's getting worse by the day. We really need to make sure the wound doesn't become infected. Gangrene could pose a serious threat to his condition, especially out at sea.
Please, no, it's precious. You're... Stop.
Shh, don't fight it, Rupert.
What was that? Is he asleep?
Delirium. The officer is awake and he can hear you, but his reality is distorted at the moment. It's unlikely he'll keep anything down in this state. I'll help him eat after I've administered his medicine.
Devon? Oh. Devon, is that you?
Officer, please, don't push yourself so much. You need to rest. Mr. Rensburg, get me my briefcase. I need...
Just tell me how Ian is doing.
You should really listen to the doctor, sir. You need to rest. I'll just put your soup here for you, so that you can sleep.
I'm not a fool. I know what you're doing. Just tell me already, where is Ian?
Ian is doing fine, Rupert. They locked him up for his own safety, and yours, of course.
Thank God he's safe, at least. Are they feeding him well? You should give him my food. Otherwise he...
Rupert, stop straining yourself. I don't want you...
Do it for me, Devon. The captain won't feed him well. Not after what he has done. Please,
Fetch me my briefcase, Mr. Rensburg. Now!
Let me out of bed!
No, you stay put. You're riling yourself up too much and need to calm down. Devon, quickly, a bottle of laudanum. It's in the front pocket of my medical kit.
Garrick's scalpel looked very sharp. I took care not to cut myself on it. There was a bandage in the Several bottles with various pills and ointments were in the side pockets of the bag. There was only one bottle of laudanum left in Gerrig's bag, and even that was half empty.
Is this all, Mr. Rensburg? I had another full bottle of this with me.
Not that I could find, sir. Should I have another look?
No, I trust your eyes. Strange. I always take a few extra bottles with me on a long journey. Laudanum is a very common mixture of opium and alcohol. It's used for quite a few ailments. I can't have used them all up already.
Opium and alcohol? Sounds like a strong combination. Do you think someone robbed you to have a fun time?
I wouldn't be surprised. Some people are quite fond of its effect. It makes the user all fuzzy and warm inside, not to mention the dangerous illusion of being completely carefree for a while. Well, if you would, keep an eye out for someone with a flushed face. Laudanum usually makes people blush a little. Now please leave us, Mr. Rensburg. The officer deserves some privacy when I administer his dose.
Ah, Devon, you're right on time to help Danielle with dinner for the crew. Are you a good cook?
As if anybody can make a decent meal in this kitchen.
Golly, Danielle. You are on a ship, remember?
Really? I almost forgot. I was wondering where all the water came from.
Yes, you are still quite wet behind the ears. Now, boys, the water is cooking, and I expect you to make me proud while I clean and set the table. So get a move on and make me a nice stew.
So, Devon, ready to learn how to work miracles?
I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that.
Well, it's less than scraps that we have to deal with here. I saw a few sacks of rice, a bag of potatoes, and a pot of barley. There's also some dried meat and fish on the hooks. And maybe we can do something with those old carrots. They are getting moldy.
Oh, that sounds really bad. No wonder we're getting the same plain dishes every day.
It's not just bad, it's horrible. Where I come from, it's a crime to prepare dinner without a single piece of fresh produce.
Where are you from, then?
It's a long story, and I'd rather not tell.
Why not? Did something bad happen?
No. Well, yes, but I'd really rather not talk about it. Oh, right. We need a good hearty base for our stew. Could you find me either a bunch of potatoes or a pound of barley? No rice, please. I really hate rice.
It was a sack of barley. It was a sack of potatoes. Several rolls made by Undra. The few herbs I could find.
Potatoes, huh? You have good taste. Hey, Devon, that protectorate blue, it really looks too good on you. I mean, why does the captain like you so much?
Why does that matter to you?
It doesn't, Devon, but I have heard about what happened with Ian up on deck. I just never expected the captain to reward you for that.
I didn't expect it either, but I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth.
I'm convinced that it was just a convenience, Devon. The captain must believe that having a steward to preserve some form of etiquette will help keep Morton at bay.
Why would the captain be afraid of Mr. Morton?
Afraid? I don't think so. Our captain just plays along with Morton's game. He moved a pawn, and that pawn is you. Remember that the senator is a powerful man, Devon. I heard he's the brother-in-law of Jonathan Vesey, the regent of the eastern colonies. It is in our best interest to keep him happy. Even though I don't really like protectorate officials, I'd still advise you to stop pushing his buttons. Got it? Now get me some fish or meat for this stew.
It was a cured fish.
The salt smell of cured fish. It will go well with some ground chili peppers. You probably love spicy food, right, Devon?
Even a dash of pepper freshens up most bland protectorate-made dishes. Good chili peppers do wonders.
Well, it's a shame then that we don't have any aboard the HLV Herald. They would have made this dish a lot more edible.
Why do you bring up chili peppers if we don't have any?
It's not just about the peppers, Devon. It's... Sometimes you suddenly realize that you dearly miss something you left behind. It can be as small as the taste of a tomato salsa prepared with fresh Malagueta peppers. But sometimes it's about other, more significant things.
Could you explain those more significant things?
The peppers grew in my garden, Devon. Every day of summer, a girl I knew would pick the ripe ones at noon, and I would watch her while she did.
Who was she?
Charlize was the property of my father's estate. But there, in that garden, she was free, Devon, singing a song while she picked the malaguetas one by one. When we were together, I completely forgot why I was there and what she really was. A slave girl, forbidden fruit.
What happened next?
I became reckless. After numerous hot-blooded encounters behind a particularly beautiful pepper plant, I one day dared to brag about my exploits to my friends. When father found out, he said I had besmirched our family name, and worse, that of my fiancée. I felt ashamed. I never dared to face Charlize again.
Why would you brag about something like that? Sounds quite indecent of you.
I loved her, and I wanted all the world to know about it. I was also younger and dumber than I am now. I thought I could get away with anything. When the rumors finally reached the ears of my betrothed, her parents made sure Charlize disappeared. I couldn't do anything to stop them. I was asleep when they stormed the senzala, took Charlize out of her bed, and hanged her from a tree in our garden. I never had a chance to apologize.
They killed her? What barbarism!
Well, the stew is done. Go serve the crew on the twin deck. I'll be right there.
The few herbs I could find in the The most prominent thing about the galley
So, what you cooked up for us tonight, Undra? Another disappointment?
You alone bring enough of that to the table, Caleb. Besides, I wasn't the one cooking tonight.
If you were not cooking, Undra, who was?
Danielle, together with Devon here, made a fine stew for us.
You trust your kitchen to Ransburg?
Galley, Caleb. And yes, I do.
I guess you are used to rats in your kitchen.
Rather a rat than a weasel like you.
I'm starving. Fill my bowl right up, Devon. It'd better be good.
Fish again. My guess the tater should make it kinda edible.
You should taste it, Bosun. It's quite an exotic mix of things. I like it. Whose recipe is this anyway?
It's Danielle's recipe. I merely assisted.
Now, don't lie, Devon. You picked the ingredients.
I knew we were missing someone. What are you sneaking around the deck for all the time?
You were back there? Did you hear any strange sounds? I heard some eerie noises last night from the direction of the cargo hold.
What are you talking about, Rob? The cargo hold is locked while we're at sea. No one can enter till we make port.
But, Bosun, I've heard it as well.
Ludlow? Where did...
It was just a few nights back. I was walking to my cabin, and suddenly the air around me went icy cold. Then, out of nowhere, comes this ghostly tune, mesmerizing me as I walk across the 'tween deck. Before I know it, darkness creeps over me. The next thing I remember was waking up in the crow's nest at 3.
When I heard it, I could swear there was singing too. We're all doomed, Bosun.
Don't go towards the sound when you hear it. It's really dangerous. I've heard terrible stories of sirens trying to lure men into their arms. Before you know it, you're locked in an embrace with a hideous woman with razor-sharp teeth and a pale, dead face.
Well, that's good to know, right, Caleb? Even you might have a chance with this girl.
Bah, I don't need no woman. Women only bring bad luck to sailors like us.
Like us? You and I are not in any way alike, Caleb.
I wasn't talking about you, hash slinger. Since when are you a sailor?
Hold your tongue, snake.
Your
And
mother
here we
didn't teach
go
you to show
again.
some respect to your superiors?
You, my superior? I think not.
I own you, Andra. You and the likes of you are in my pocket.
I warn you, Caleb, don't push me.
I take back what I said. A hash slinger can cook.
Why do they always have to fight?
I wouldn't want to be you.
It's because they're both idiots, Devon.
And remember,
Officer, why are you here anyway? Are you not eating with the captain tonight?
It's you.
With the senator as his guest, I'm afraid I will have to eat on my own for a while. But now I need to speak with Devon. In private.